there are some of these, and I'm going to package some of them together because they're available through the California Association of Realtors, the National Association of Realtors, and Century 21. There's stuff that we can easily put together that you could offer people if they gave you their address, phone number, or email. You can get there's renters, for sale by owners. Now, the reason why that's mentioned is that one of the standard approaches, and I'd be willing I'd be willing to talk about for sale by owners if people would be willing to do anything. Right? That's always been my problem. Is if we do a class, some people.
Got two of them.
You got two of them.
A couple of years ago.
One way of approaching a for sale by owner is to say to them, "Look, I know you want to sell your home on your own. I'm not telling you shouldn't do that, but are you planning on buying something? Would you like some information? Would you like some help on that?" Right? You understand? And then now, once you're in the door, right, and you're talking to them, what happens when they find something they like? They really want to sell the one they have. Right? So that's you can assist sellers, home buying seminars. Rick Barang at the Silver Creek office had like 5 people the other day. He's doing a home selling seminar. I have lots of stuff. Sample presentations, PowerPoint. I've got lots of stuff. If you want, I sent him my stuff. I'd give you my stuff. Remember, I take PayPal. Why would I want to buy now when I'll be able to get a better deal later on? Prices are already low. All right, we're back to, are they going to go down or are they going to go up? We don't know. But are they low now? They're lower now. One of the things that I was looking at, but and I'm going to show you a little bit on how to know what the statistics are like. But back in, I don't have it with me, but the median price in 2000 is close to, maybe a little bit more than the median price in 2010. Right? Over that 10-year period, it's about flat. And if you look at the graph, it goes, there's a lot of wiggling, right? So it's at not the lowest point it's ever been, but one of the lower points it's ever been. Where do things usually go when they're down for a long time? They go up, right? And if somebody's planning on living in the home for a period of time, you understand the line is, it's not timing the market, it's time in the market, right? If they're going to be there for a long enough time, they won't have that problem. But if they wait, you understand, if timing it so you buy exactly when it hits bottom, that's the goal, but usually you don't know. They wait until it bounces and is going up. And by the time the indicators show that it's going up, it's too late to get the good deals anymore. Because you understand, lots of people are thinking this way. The herd is standing there, pawing the ground, snorting. And when the market bounces up, it's like the gun goes off and the herd moves. Isn't that right? That's when the herd moves. That means there aren't as many sellers because buyers have been waiting, right? There aren't as many sellers, and now there's way more buyers. What does that do to prices? Has any of you had a situation recently where there were multiple offers, 4, 5 offers, right? These are just some samples. Do you understand why I'm throwing these in? You need to know what you're going to say and maybe even practice what you're going to say before you're saying it, right? Or you could just freestyle, just wing it as you're going along. One of the reasons right now is interest rates are still at historic lows, oil prices, other rising costs push up inflation. There's nothing going on in the world that would affect oil prices, right? Sure. Isn't that true? Sure. The Mideast is calm, right? Everything is safe and secure, right?
To tell you the truth, I don't think it matters.
Well, I don't know, but we don't know about that, right? Do you understand? Are there things that could happen that could make it harder, right? Interest rates will probably go up. That can make your monthly mortgage payment higher and affect how much home you could buy. Is it easier to qualify now? Now, I know there's people groan when you say that, but given the fact that prices are low, it's easier to qualify now, right? You can buy more now than you will be able to buy when prices go up. I think that's true. Another reason it's a great time to buy is that there's a big inventory. I don't know about that one, but you need to look and see what's coming on the market. Why buy now? Now you have an option of more time and a bigger choice. That's assuming I'm talking about inventory. That's something you need to know whether or not the inventory is shrinking or growing. And I'm going to talk about ways in which you can know more about this stuff and report it. Now, some of you have seen this before from me and hated it every time. I know you hate it every time I do it. They're leaving already. They're walking out. They're starting to. But if you're a part-time real estate agent, that means 20 hours a week, and you spent 80% of that 20 hours a week prospecting, that would be 16 hours a week. If you spent 5 days a week prospecting, you would be spending 3.2 hours a day working half-time at 80% effectiveness, right? I know that we have high goals, right? We have high standards here. But I would bet that most people aren't spending 3 hours a day trying to get clients. I'm going to go out on a limb with that. Most people are not spending 3 hours a day trying to get clients. Not an hour. Some not 30 minutes. Right? You are? An hour or 3 hours?
A day?
A day.
No, I don't know. Does it count when you do a lot in 2 or 3 days?
Sure, average. But the point is, the point is that if you were doing this full time and spending 80% of your time prospecting, that would be over 6 hours a day on a full time basis, right? So what I'm arguing is that you might have time to try some of these things, right, within your busy schedule, right? You might be able to find some time to work on some of these things. Somewhere. This is my expanding the sphere of influence. I'm not going to go through all the sphere of influence stuff because I've done that before. But I printed this out because there's some scripts and things for you to say. But if the goal was to meet 5 people a day, 5 new people a day, 5 days a week, that's 25 people a week. That's 100 people a month. That's 1,200 people a year. Assuming that people buy and then sell every 10 years, 10-year turnover, that's 120 transactions a year. From those 1,200 people, if you lost 90% of those transactions, if your goal was only to get 10%, 1 out of 10 of them, you would be doing a transaction a month. Right? A transaction a month from meeting 5 people a day. Most agents don't meet 5 new people a day. They don't try to add 5 people a day into their prospect database. They just don't.
Well, you have to take on kind of a predator attitude.
Predator attitude. How about this? What kind of license is it that you receive from the Department of Real Estate? Do you receive a real estate consulting license? Is that what it's called? A real estate advisor license? A real estate marketing license? What's the license called? It's a salesperson's license. Hate to break it to you. You're in sales.
Oh, man.
I know. It's a shock. Oh, my God. I woke up and I'm in sales.
Is that what those classes was taking with you?
That's where I've gone. He's lost it. That's the thing. He's lost it. I'm going to do some more classes on sales. All right. More about what do you say to people. But do you understand that a little amount of effort, I mean, if you spend a few hours a day, you could find 5 people. And you could be doing business. Definition. How about this? 57% of the buyers, according to the National Association of Realtors 2010 survey, 57% were referred to them by, they use an agent referred to them or that they had worked with before. Past customers, clients, and referrals. Sellers, that's 57%. 64% of sellers went with past agents they'd worked with in the past or referrals. You need to talk to your past customers and clients. I hate to say it, but if you say, well, I don't want to do that, how about this? Go talk to a bunch of expired listings first, just to get a sense. So the best way for the expired listings, you understand, is if you call them on the phone, they get lots of phone calls. If you mail them stuff, they get lots of stuff in the mail. What you have to do is that when you see that you get up at 6 in the morning, right, and you run the ones that expired that day, and the best thing to do is to go and knock on their door or call them, right, like at 8 o'clock, right, so you know they're there, and talk to them. And after you've done this a while, calling your past clients may not seem like such a bad idea, right? You understand? Right? You might, but you understand, if you're not focused on this, you're missing more than half the business. Right. People always want me a classified ad that I can run in Craigslist. It'll generate all these leads every week without me having to spend any money. And they're all, I wouldn't be here if I knew it. Right? You understand? I wouldn't be. I'd be gone if I knew that. If I had the magic ad, right? I wouldn't be talking to you. I'd be gone. There isn't one, right? Right? There isn't one. And so that doesn't mean you can't. I'm not saying you can't get business from Craigslist. I'm just saying that this is the number one thing, right? Past customers, clients, and referrals. Number one. All right. More on sphere of influence. You already have one. I'm not going to go through all this stuff, but there's a guy named Conrad Levinson who wrote a book on guerrilla marketing, and I was gonna print out. He has a test. I was going to print it out for you guys. Maybe I'll post it so you can take the test. The questions are things like, number one, do you dress professionally every day? Or do you always have business cards? Or do you wear a name badge? Are you willing to talk to people? Do you go places where people are likely to talk to you? Now, you understand, if you don't suit up, right? If you don't dress up, if you're not ready to do business. I've known agents that were sitting at home and somebody called and they didn't want to meet them because they weren't dressed. Right? So I have to take a shower and get dressed, and I don't know, maybe I can't do it today. Right? So you ought to at least start the day by pretending you're going to do business. Right? Act as if you're going to meet people that are going to want to work with you. Right? And then wear a name badge. He's got one. We have secret agents, right? We use code names, disguises, right? Secret handshakes, dark sunglasses. All right. Business cards. You buy a box of 1,000 business cards. While you're doing all this, you ought to be handing them out to people. Well, if you give out 1,000 business cards, not everybody's going to call you. Let's say only 5% call you. 95% of the people throw away your business card, right? 5%, that means you get 50 responses. Now, not everybody of those 50 is going to buy a house or sell a house, right? Let's say 1 in 10 do. That's 5 transactions, right? 10% of 50. 50 is 5% of 1,000. So we're getting 10% of 5%. I don't know what percent we lost, but we lost a lot. That's 5 transactions. $10,000 commission check, you made $50,000. I know agents, when we move offices, they're always complaining because they still have their original set of business cards, right? They're yellowed from age, right? Made out of, painted with lead in the ink, for some law from 1940 or something. I mean, I don't know, right? You understand? They don't. The idea is not to keep them pristine in a box in your office. It's not the idea, right? The idea is to get them, carry them, hand them out, and talk to people. Hand them out as fast as you can. Make contacts with you. And then I threw in some things about categorizing, if ongoing contact in this building, some tips. What I wanted to do, what I did here is I threw in some stuff that deals with things that you could say. Because I believe that you ought to practice what you're going to say. If you already are comfortable about what you're going to say, you're more likely to talk to somebody in the first place. You should make it a daily ritual doing these things. there's a whole series of books out and probably tapes and videos on ritualizing business practices, right? People that are most successful often have rituals. They do certain things at certain times in a certain order, right? And it becomes, now in real estate, see, we're independent contractors. You ever heard the real estate, the star salesperson? Did you ever hear about that? Because you see the star salesperson, they start over here and then they go here and then they go here and then, you understand they're everywhere every day doing, but to set certain times each day, certain days each week that you're going to do certain things and schedule it like it was lunch, right? Something important, overcome blocks. No matter how much you don't like to do it, calling people on the phone and talking to them is still the most effective way of getting business. No matter what. It's better than chatting with them, tweeting with them, messaging them on Facebook or LinkedIn. All those things are useful, but speaking to people directly is still the most effective way to get business. If you're doing an open house, do you get, those little fishbowl things? They're like plastic. They have a big opening. There, you can ask people to put cards in, and you can even have little cards that people could fill out so they could win something. They could get something, a gift certificate, something, if they gave. Have you ever seen those? You get a free lunch. It says free lunch. You know what that means? There's no free lunch. That means you have to meet with somebody for an hour, right, on financial planning, right? That's your free lunch, right? And but could you have a ball? Do you understand? It's your open houses. How committed are you to collecting contact information? All right, and offering them something where they can throw a business card. A lot of people have them, right? Still, making contact. These are basically scripts. Now, one of the things that I wanted to show you was a couple of just, I don't know, strange things. I'm going to try, if I have the time, to do some of this too, but I want you to see, we're talking about statistics. What happened to my... All right. Oh, why is it making me do this? Okay. Thank you. I want to make sure nobody gets into the MLS easily. All right. Where would be the best way for you to know what was going on? You can click on Pro Search. I hear they're upgrading the statistics package for Matrix, but have not done so yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on Statistics. Now, I just wanted to show you this because I was having difficulty with it until I figured out why. I called and asked them. But let's say I want to know what the market's been like for the last 10 years. So you start on the right and you go to the left, trends, closed sales, single family homes. And so I'm going to do annual because is it a new decade? It's a new decade, right? So what's happened in the last decade would be an appropriate thing maybe to talk about. And now this is the part that gets sneaky. If you pick counties and you pick Santa Clara County, for example, you're only going to get from 2008, only the last 3 years. Just because, right? They told me why, and just because, right? That's the answer. So what you do, but you want Santa Clara County. So you click on cities, and what we're going to do is click on, view all. Why did I do areas? I didn't want to. So I think I get a city, view all, and then we go down here to Santa Clara, and we click on that, and then we click on OK. And now it's going to give us back as far as their computer goes, which is a lot longer than 10 years. I thought I would share that with you, right? Because I had to call them and ask them, why, right? Why? So then we click on Update, and it's going to produce a very slow loading thing. Come on. And so what it does, this is the default inventory new listings. I usually would put closed sales, and it produces this little chart for the last 10 years showing these things. But the one that I would be most interested in is median price. And you have to click them all one at a time because it doesn't allow you to do multiple clicks. And so if we did, that's the median price that's the median price for the last 10 years. And if we wanted to throw average in, median is probably a better indicator, but you see average doesn't. What does that graph look like to you that's happening? Are prices going down or up right now? What's that graph look like to you? They're going up. They're recovering, right? And it's down here. You understand what I was saying? It's a little. I guess it's in this one. It's gone up a little bit. It's up a little bit, right? Not by a huge amount, but it looks like it's recover. We don't know what 2011 is going to be.
It's right down there. Huh?
Yeah, this is a part of the MLS you ought to look at. How's the real estate market? Right, isn't that the question? A newsletter, a website, a blog post, a Facebook comment. And if you click on download, you can get it as an Excel spreadsheet and play around with it. But and there's different kinds, like the column one sometimes looks a little bit bigger. And those of you that have been to one of my classes before know that I like a free program called DuckLink. And DuckLink allows me to go here and go like this, and it's going to allow me to now save that as a picture. And so all I have to do is find where I am, and I put it on the desktop, and I say 10-year trend, for example, and I hit save. I now have an image of that particular graph that I could put in a newsletter to hand out, an email I sent out, a web page, a blog, listing presentation, a buyer presentation, right? You ought to spend some. Now, setting up those alerts is now a good time to buy a house in San Jose. Setting up those alerts will give you some of the statistical stuff just by reading your inbox, or I use the reader. But doing this every once in a while, the statistics change about on the 5th of the month. So on February 5th, they had January numbers. They have January numbers, right? I haven't done that yet. But on March 5th, they'll have February numbers. So on the 15th of the month, doing what the market is like newsletter would be an appropriate thing to do. And you'd have stuff every month. All right. What else? So I have a YouTube channel called 24 San Jose, and I have videos on how to set up Google Reader and how to do the Google Alerts and how to do all that. But do you understand the power of having that information flow to you without you having to go look at it? Right. Now, one of the things that I would like you to do, if you don't mind at some point, is, because we're trying to communicate in different ways, but the company has a Facebook page. How many of you got something from me about the Facebook page? Some of you did. Did you like the page? Have you clicked on like? No. Jeez, I'm good. Write down the names, Candy, of everyone who didn't click on the like button. Who didn't click on? Yeah, well, anyhow. The reason why, when I get 25 people that like the page, I can create a custom URL. When you get a page, I'll like your page, if you like my page now. I'm going to remember who didn't like my page. All right? And when you want me to like your page, it's going to cost you. All right? So one last thing I wanted to do, because a lot of this, the reason why I'm talking about this is that our page is called, by the way, there is a Century 21 page. Facebook page, and there's a Century 21 Alpha Facebook page. And look at this. This is my last post on the Century 21 Alpha Facebook page. The best and worst cities for home values in 2011, number one on the list for best cities is San Jose. Forbes magazine. And if you liked my page, you would have gotten that in your Facebook newsfeed. All right? Well, the reason why you might not is because Facebook has an algorithm that watches what you do, and also it looks at the other people and their posts, and it filters what you see. You don't see everything. The way to see, notice up here it says top news, that's the default. That can be changed, however, but most people won't. I have more than 300 most recent. When I click on this, this starts to show me everything. Okay? If I click on this, I don't see everything. All right? So do you understand? If you get stuff from us and you never like it, you never comment, you never share it, you never do anything with it, Facebook will stop sending it to you. Yes. It's not gone, but you have to click to the right on all of the ones and look for it. But if you read it and you open it and you share it and you click on it, then Facebook will put it at the top of you'll put it in your feed. If you don't, they won't. They're watching what you do, and they're tailoring, they're screening, they're filtering your news feed based upon what you've done. And if a bunch of people like my post, they're more likely to put it in your news feed, right? Because they're saying, oh, people like this post, right? Most people don't realize, most people don't know this, what I just did. Which is why you ought to come to, that's why you ought to come to my class at 1 o'clock, right? Or attend the webinar. One last thing, online resources for offline marketing. The Google, if you were to subscribe, become fans of, like, the right Facebook pages, you'd be getting a lot of this stuff anyhow. The Santa Clara County Association has a page, the California Association has a page, the National Association, Century 21 has a page, we have a page, right? The Department of Real Estate has a page. There's a whole bunch of people that have pages that are putting this information. That's one way for you to get information. Another way is to set up Google Alerts. And Google Alerts means you can set up those alerts. And the third way for you to get inside information, good information about what's going on to the market, offline marketing ideas and tips for free, is what are called forums or online communities. There is one big one for real estate, and it's called Active Rain. Have you ever heard of Active Rain? Do you have an account? I do. And to show you what I get from Active Rain, I'm going to show you two things about Active Rain. I have to look at, nobody's threatening me yet. Oh, IDX press release. I'm going to read that one because that's about Century 21 is doing a thing where they Century 21 may be providing free IDX searches for agents on the Century 21 web pages. I have to read. I've been talking to them, but this is my Active Rain. It's called Daily Drop. Active Rain, Daily Drop. And it's something I get every day, whether I want it or not. And it has a bunch of different posts by real estate agents. Now, let me just, because you probably still don't understand why, who cares about any of this stuff, I'm going to go ahead and log in. And I don't have my RoboForm. All right, I've logged in. So you ought to set up an Active Rain account. No, I don't care about that. So search. Now, offline marketing. Offline marketing means marketing. First of all, just so you understand, Active Rain is the largest social organization of real estate agents in the universe. It's like Facebook for real estate, sort of. There's two parts of Active Rain. One you have to pay for. The part you have to pay for allows your post to be searchable by Google. So that if you post something on Active Rain that's really cool, Google is searching Active Rain all the time. Your post will come up when people are Google searching that subject. First, it costs money to have that option. Second, people may not be Google searching your subject. The second part of Active Rain, which is the non-public side, is the agent introspective side. I don't know if that's the right word, but and that doesn't cost anything, but all you get are access to other real estate agents and what they are saying. Well, who wants to know that? They have a channel on Active Rain on offline marketing, and they have home staging channels, offline marketing channel on the Active Rain Real Estate Network. And so these are, shows you articles that have been posted and discussions by agents on all those things. And I've signed up for their daily drop. I get an email every day of a summary of their top posts. So it would be good stories. Do you understand telling stories is the way from Jennifer back until the lizard brain, people. We're used to telling stories is a most effective way of communicating. You may not have good stories, right? About somebody asked you this and somebody said that. You may not, but they do. So if you word it right, consider this. A buyer asks me, right? You understand there are examples, discussions, issues that you could learn from and use in your marketing. Plus suggestions. Agents are swapping ideas on offline marketing. It doesn't cost anything to do this. Active Rain, get an account, sign up for the daily drop. Check out, how about this one? Just check out the offline marketing channel. There is lots and lots of stuff, right? All right. Now, there are others besides Active Rain, but Active Rain is the 800-pound gorilla of these. Right? I'm a member of like a dozen of them, but Active Rain is the only one that does anything. There's a bunch of things in Active Rain that I would just start with this. Check out offline marketing, look around, get the daily drop, read the different things every day. You'll be smarter about real estate. Is that enough? Is that good? It's worth at least, $5 for my
Bagel.
a bagel. It's her bagels. All right. Well, then that's 1 o'clock. We're going to I believe I'm going to make a Facebook business page for Fred Martin in real time, live from scratch. He doesn't have one yet. Right? And so that means I have to install applications and stuff right from the beginning. I was going to create a dummy account. I know a lot of people, a lot of dummies with accounts, but that's not what I meant. So that I could do this, but Fred, I'm going to do it for his, so it would be a useful thing. 1 o'clock, also available on webinar. You all got my email? If you didn't, look again. Bye.